Enlightened, however, have grown to understand that you can greatly learn from the experience of others and not just your own. Join Kofi Danso from Ambassadors of Happiness on Storytime, live on Ak24 Radio every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. as we learn from the stories behind the spiritual, social, psychological, physical, and financial growth of our awesome guest. Experience is certainly the best teacher. Let's give it a deeper meaning on Storytime. Storytime, time to learn.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
We are radio, and this is Ak24 Radio.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
We are radio, and this is Ak24 Radio.
That will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
We are radio, and this is Ak24 Radio.
That will lead you.
We are radio, and this is Ak24 Radio.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kofi Danso from Ambassadors of Happiness. We are here to make your evening happy. Keep listening to us.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home. That will lead you home.
This is the moment. Happiness, we are here. Get ready. Happiness is here, joy is here. We are here with you tonight just to bring you happiness. That is all. Keep on focusing on that word, happiness. The Epiphany is here. Today we are going to share happiness with you.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
When life brings you happiness, you give happiness back to life. We are here to bring you share happiness.
We are radio, and this is Al24 Radio.
Yes, they say life goes ahead of you, providing you with what you need before you needed it. So today, what do we bring? We bring you joy. Joy, love, and laughter. Happiness. That is our mission. Ambassadors of Happiness, located in the UK, very soon going international. And our mission is just to bring you sheer happiness. Happiness, happiness, happiness. If I was to ask you a simple question right now, what element of life today has brought you happiness? Again, if I was to ask you today, what has brought you happiness? What would you say? My happiness is the fact that I woke up and the first thing I could see was myself. By seeing myself, I became happy because I'm alive. And if I'm alive, then I have to celebrate.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
Happiness is the home. All the roads will lead you home. Where is home? It's in you, your own happiness. That's why we are here. Hi, this is your host Kofi Danso here from the Ambassadors of Happiness. Our mission is just to make the world a happy place for you and I. The epiphany is here. What are we bringing? Joy, love, and laughter. All leads to what? Happiness. And where is happiness? Within our souls, our home. So no matter where you go, happiness should lead you home. We'd like to say thank you to our listeners. I can see you people on Facebook. Some of you are on YouTube. Some of you are already online listening to us and watching us. Hey, I can see you, Miss Ajagba. How are you? How is Australia?
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you.
Solomon Ampon, I can see you online listening to me. How are you? How is Ghana?
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home.
Happiness is a virtue. Happiness is your own natural state. Happiness is already birthed in you. You don't need to cultivate it. It is already you.
That will lead you.
So, Ambassadors of Happiness, our mission is just to bring happiness to the world, and every Sunday from the hours of 7 to 9, I myself, Kofi Danso, will be online interviewing a variety of leaders around the world. Some of them are my friends, some of them are acquaintances, and we shall all be sharing stories of how to cultivate happiness within us. Happiness is already within us. You don't need to do much. All you need to do is just to know happiness. That is all. But there are other elements as well that we shall be teaching as we go on.
We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you.
We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio.
that will lead you.
We are radio, and this is Aquento 4 Radio.
Our natural state is happiness. That is our natural spiritual state. Nature made it that way for us. We are already happy beings. We were born happy. However, our own desires and our own misunderstanding of our being and our reality here on earth has made us artificially chase happiness. But happiness is within. Smiles are free, laughter is free, joy is free. The ambassadors of happiness, we are here, and we are here to bring you ultimate joy.
We are radio, and this is Aquento 4 Radio.
Where is home? Where is home? Where is that home? That happy place that you call home, where is it? Yes. Are you thinking about it? Where is this home? This happy home that we want to go to. Where is it? Where is it? We realize that many people go through life and they often mistake what happiness is. They go about chasing egos and physical desires, and they end up forgetting about their natural states. This natural state cannot be controlled. It cannot be pushed back, because it is you, that immortal side of you that is always happy, is here, is here, is here.
That will lead you.
Are you looking at the right virtue of happiness, or are you chasing artificial happiness?
We are radio, and this is Aquento 4 Radio.
A friend of mine asked me earlier on, it's like, I am not happy with my relationship, and I am not happy with my partner. My partner doesn't make me happy. My advice, you don't need anybody to make you happy. Happiness is natural, it's your own state. And if you cannot cultivate happiness for yourself, then do not expect anybody else to come and give you happiness, because happiness is you. You are here on earth to be happy.
We are radio, and this is Aquento 4 Radio. Radio, and this is Aquento 4 Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Storytime. This is Ambassador Kofi Danso from the Ambassadors of Happiness. Our mission is that of a happy world, and me and my team, Over the next few weeks, we'll be talking about how we cultivate happiness within ourselves and also how we cultivate happiness in our workplaces, our homes, and wherever we may be.
We are
No
radio.
matter
And this
where
is Aquento 4 Radio.
Remember the road that will lead you that will lead you
This is Kofi Danso from Aquento 4 Radio. I represent Ambassadors of Happiness, and today I am hosting Storytime. And if you are listening wherever you are in the UK, in Europe, Ghana, the USA, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, India, hey my people, wherever you are, the epiphany is here. The chrysalis moment is here. We have done an extensive research into how to cultivate happiness, and we are now on a level whereby we are happy to share with you. In most people's understanding of happiness, they often cultivate it the wrong way, expecting external materials or external joy to bring the inner happiness. But your inner happiness is always there, ready to be embraced.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you that will lead you that will lead you Remember the road that will
We are radio. And this is Aquento 4 Radio.
Happiness, happiness, happiness. One of life's main virtue. God, that is the divine virtue. Happiness. Happiness is such a beautiful world. Such a beautiful world full of happy people. And that is my wish. And that is our wish. Here, the ambassador of happiness, myself, Kofi Danso, and my fellow ambassador, Papa Smiley, we are here to share joy with you and how to cultivate your natural happiness.
That will lead you that will lead you
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kofi Danso from Ambassadors of Happiness, and we are here live on Aqua24 Radio, sharing with you Storytime. Storytime is basically going to share the elements of happiness with the rest of the world, how to cultivate our happiness from a young age into our adulthood. There is no restriction as to which age group you should belong into. We are all here to share happiness, and that is our mission. Joy, 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 and happiness.
Remember the road that will lead you.
Master KG, 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 Master KG.
Rather than spending your evening thinking about what you're going to do at work tomorrow and all the stress that is going to come this week, join us every Sunday from 7 to 9 on Aqua24 Radio Storytime to discuss how to cultivate happiness. In every situation, there is something that could be done to ensure that there is joy, peace, and happiness amongst all.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you.
We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio.
Happiness, 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 the ultimate virtue of life. That is why we are all here. And there is always a way to activate your natural happiness. It is within us, and you don't need much work. Just being aware that there is happiness within.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio. We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio.
Wherever you're tuning in from the world, Asia, America, Ghana, Australia, Europe, we are here for you every Sunday from the hours of 7 to 9, presenting Storytime. And I, Kofi Danso from Ambassadors of Happiness, I'm here with my colleague, Papa Smiley, co-ambassador of Ambassador of Happiness, and we are here to share our life story and how we cultivate happiness.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. that will lead you that will lead you
We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you. We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio. We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio.
That will lead you home.
When we were told experience is the best teacher, many misunderstood to mean just your own experience. The enlightened, however, have grown to understand that you can greatly learn from the experience of others and not just your own. Join Kofi Danso from Ambassadors of Happiness on Storytime, live on Aqua24 Radio every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. as we learn from the stories behind the spiritual, social, psychological, physical, and financial growth of our awesome guest. Experience is certainly the best teacher. Let's give it a deeper meaning on Storytime. Storytime, time to learn.
That will lead you home.
We are radio, and this is Aqua24 Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Storytime on Aqua24 Radio. This evening is the genesis of our famous Storytime by the Ambassadors of Happiness. I myself, Kofi Danso, and my co-ambassador, Papa Smiley, will be sharing our life stories on what happiness is. So the entire journey that we are about to embark on is the discovery of our own happiness. Yes. So if you're tuning into it right now, welcome to Storytime. I'm here with my colleague, Papa Smiley. And yes, so we're here to discover happiness. Now, what is happiness? What is it? We often wake up in the mornings, or from our childhood, we often pursue something called happiness. What is it? What is really happiness? How do we measure happiness? How do we quantify it? How do we make it tangible? Is it something that we wake up and walk and chase happiness? Or is it something that is already living in us and all we have to do is to cultivate it? So that is our mission. Our mission is quite simple. Just by knowing what true, natural, infinite bliss is, aka happiness, and how to always be aware of it. And as simple as I've explained it now, over the course of the weeks that we're going to be here, you're going to learn a lot from us as well. Now, the idea is that on a weekly basis, we'll be speaking to people that have actually had an element of research into psychology and the psychology of happiness. We'll be sharing all these with you, and I'll be having a variety of guests. So for today's show, which is our genesis, it's going to be a discussion between myself and the co-ambassador, Mr. Papa Smiley. And should you have any questions in between, feel free to call us, and we shall definitely, we share together. That is why we are here. Yes. So I'm now going to welcome my my colleague, Papa Smiley. Papa, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Yourself?
I am super here, my dear friend. So,
Beautiful.
so as you you heard it earlier on, we have a lot of people who are listening to us and they want to know what is happiness. So I'm going to ask you, what is your understanding of happiness, please?
Well, before we go into that, that was quite an introduction,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Well, in your little chats on what the program is all about, you were still hitting some very beautiful points that I myself, I was loving it so much. And truly, as you said in your introduction, many people are seeking happiness. A lot of them are truly seeking that happiness away from them, and that has always been a problem.
Yes, sir.
You seeking something that is just right within you, beyond you, has always been a problem to many people. So truly, Storytime is to give us that opportunity to speak to as many people as we will be able to get them on the radio, just to discover how they were able to discover happiness themselves.
Yes.
And as our jingle goes, you know, when we were told that experience is the best teacher, many took it as if you would have to go through the experience in order for you to have that knowledge.
Yeah.
But truly, we don't have to reinvent the wheels. The wheels have already been invented, so we just have to learn from how it runs, and we carry on from there. So when we get our guests in, talking to them on various issues as to how they were able to cultivate or harvest that happiness that they are exhibiting within them,
Sensational.
we will be learning a lot from them, and then we'll see how it goes. So that is all what story time is all about. Obviously, you are in charge, so I will be sitting in the background enjoying some of the very wonderful discoveries that will be coming our way through our discussions with the various guests that
Yes.
will be coming on the show. So it's all good.
Oh.
If you ask me what happiness is, going
Yes.
back to you, that question, happiness is peace,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And you see, we all want to be happy. That is the bottom line.
Yes.
Even the evils that we do, the bottom line is we want to be happy.
100%.
I remember when I was a young boy, in my heydays, right? I'm still in my heydays anyway.
You're very young still.
Yes, I'm still young. When we chose to have every woman here and there, yes, we went to parties, you know, we went outing, we did so many things. When you ask me why were we doing all those things, I will tell you we just wanted to be what? To be
Happy.
happy,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
You see, someone will ask, why would you call chasing women and all those things, someone even stealing and all doing? You see, everything. The bottom line is we all want to be what?
Happy.
To be happy.
Yes.
The person who is involved in corruption, what is the bottom line?
To
He
be
wants
happy.
To be what? Happy. Everything we do in this world, we just want to be what?
Happy.
So happiness is truly the home that we want to what? We want to go. We were born from happiness, from a place of joy,
Yes.
from a place of peace, from a place of serenity. It's from the place of just peace itself.
Yes.
And that is where we want to go back. So everything that we do in our capacity as who we are, it is to lead us to that home of happiness.
Definitely.
So people may do evil, people may, whatever. Just think of it.
Mm.
Every activity
That is done.
that is done in this world is towards our happiness.
Yes.
But then again, all the problem that comes in is we want to be happy, but have we discovered the anatomy
Of happiness.
of happiness? For example, when you go to Ghana or when you go anywhere, let's say the deprived areas of this world, and then you ask them, where do you want to go? So many of them will be telling you, oh, we want to go to abroad, we want to go abroad, we want to go to Europe, we want to go to America. But truly, it's just a few of them that know how to get there.
Yes.
So, in as much as we know we want to be happy, it's just only a few that know truly what needs to be done in order to get that happiness that we are seeking. But truly, because seeking this happiness is not far away from us,
Yeah.
we have been looking all over the place for this happiness, and one way or the other, we have lost sight of the fact that this happiness that we are seeking, because it is something we emerged with it. It is just right with us, wherever that we may be. You can be happy at any particular point in time. It doesn't take so much for you to be happy.
Not at all.
Sometimes just a smile at someone,
Yeah.
right, will make you, will give you that happiness that you are seeking. So truly, truly, happiness is home, and everything that one does, it may be wrong, or it may be inappropriate, it may be non-progressive, but the bottom line of it all is, we all want to be happy. The
So-
one who is drinking, sometimes you shy away from certain things, or to drown their sorrows,
Yes.
wants to be what?
Happy.
Happy.
Yes.
But the problem is, after you drinking, trying to take away your sorrows and be happy, when the alcohol goes away, it comes back. The sorrows come back. So the person may be looking out to be happy, but he'll be looking at inappropriate place, non-progressive avenues, in order to find that happiness. So if you ask me what happiness is, happiness is what we emerge from, and that is where we all want to be.
Wow. Now, happiness is where we all emerge from. This is such a beautiful line, and I'm actually going to be using it myself a few times. Can you just elaborate on that slightly for us, Ambassador Papa Smiley? What is this emergence? Where is this place that we have emerged from that is naturally, which is a natural place of happiness?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
In as much as possible, we for the sake of this program, we will try to keep it very simple.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't be, someone would say, quite abstract,
Mhm.
something quite difficult to understand, right? You see, we have not come into this world, right? We have certainly emerged from it. If you say you have come into something, that means you were away from what you are coming into, right? Now, when you step out of your house, you come back into your house, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so you are outside of your house and
Uh-huh.
you come into your house.
Yes.
But we have not come into this world, we have emerged from it.
Yes.
If you say you've come into the world, that means there is a world beyond this world where you were coming from, and then you came into this.
Understand.
Right? But we are just in this universe. We haven't been anywhere. So we emerged from this universe.
Understand.
Now, just observe the universe.
Mm.
Look at how beautiful it is.
Mm.
Observe how beautiful the water bodies are. Look at the earth, how wonderful it is. Just view all of the things around you. View nature, see how awesome it is. Just everything around you. Just explore how beautiful, how serene, and how peaceful all these things are.
Gotcha.
From all this beauty is what you emerged from. So that is where we emerged from.
Understand.
It's a place of joy. You see, you were saying life always goes ahead of us to prepare what we need even before we need it.
We needed it. Yes. Oh, I'm
Yes,
glad.
it-
I'm glad you took note of that one.
It's a very beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Life wants us to be happy.
That's the thing.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
And it made it possible for us to have all that we would need even before we needed it.
Before we needed it, or before we even emerged.
Before we even emerged.
Thank
Okay?
you. Yes.
Everything here in this life is for our happiness.
Thank you.
Alright? And the very fundamentals of our existence that came before us. Alright? Where would we have been if there was no earth?
Oh.
Right? Where would we have been if the air wasn't breathing us?
Yes.
Okay? Where would we have been if the waters weren't there for us? All these things that we came to meet are just for our happiness.
Thank you.
Right? So we haven't come into this world, we have emerged from it. And from that place, when you observe nature, you will see how beautiful nature is.
Yes, indeed.
That beauty, that awesomeness from which we have emerged from, it's the essence of our life. So we emerge from this awesomeness, from this peaceful source, and that is what we are to exhibit as we are here.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
Wow.
So that is it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you are listening to Ambassador Papa Smiley. He has shared something fabulous with us, and obviously that is not the end of it. So I'll be probing him for extra say on one or two things that he said. He mentioned about the fact that we actually emerged into this world. Wow. Now then again, I can actually picture somebody sitting somewhere saying, where did we emerge from? And my understanding so far is that we emerged from the universe where we already are. The ovary or the eggs of a woman always emerges in their womb. It doesn't emerge from anywhere else. That's the same with we human beings, or all of life, or planet Earth. The whole universe has emerged from the universe. That is what my colleague, Ambassador Papa Smiley, is saying. And I'm just going to ask him about happiness. So, Ambassador, you mentioned something about life wants us to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you went on talking about how the elements of the earth, water, fire, air, are all things that we can marvel at.
Mm-hmm.
How do you marvel at these things yourself, please? Yes, sir.
Wow. One very wonderful soul narrated to me some time ago that if there is any God, right, that God is just the elements that you've just spoken about.
Okay.
Because without these elements, we have no resistance,
Yes.
right? Without the waters, without the fires, without the air, and without the earth, where would we be, right? To the extent, as to me marveling at these wonderful things, wow, I can say so much.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
You see, as we are sitting here,
Mm-hmm.
we're holding our balance here.
Mm-hmm.
It's all because of the loving force of the earth, right?
Yes.
It's just a few who even know how the earth is spinning,
Mm.
going around the sun at the same time,
Yes.
at the
Yes.
speed. So it's just an awesome speed, right?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Can you give us a rough figure? I think
Yes.
yes. Mhm. Yes.
Well, the earth, as we speak now, is speeding around the sun at 1,000 miles per hour,
Yes, sir.
and on its axis, I think it's on its axis at 67,000 miles per hour.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
And just imagine you sitting in a car driving at just about 100 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the very ones who love to watch Formula One.
Yes. 200 miles an hour.
200 miles, even
Plus.
that one, you sit behind your screens, and then you may be screaming even for the person who is behind the
Yes.
wheels. Just imagine that
Yes.
alone.
You end up getting funny faces. Yes.
And then the earth is actually spinning at 67,000 miles and going around the sun 1,000 miles per hour. You just ask yourself, wow, so 200 miles, 1,000 miles, 67,000 miles, but yet we feel no
Nothing.
movement.
Yes.
Is that not awesome?
That is awesome indeed.
Mhm.
That is
and,
awesome.
and what we're talking about with the earth now is not something that is so superstitious.
Yes.
It has been scientifically proven,
Proven. Yes, sir.
right? It's not something that we are just saying it,
Of
right?
course.
Through scientific discoveries, we have come to understand how the earth is operating.
Thank you.
Previously, it was believed the earth was flat.
Yes.
Until scientific knowledge led us to come to the understanding of how the world, the earth is.
Yes.
You see, that element earth is so beautiful. You know, in Ghanaian, in a Ghanaian culture, or in African context, we call the earth Asasiya.
Asasiya. What does that mean?
Asasiya. You see,
I know Asasi is meant to be the earth, but the
earth,
Ya.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The Ya, I would say, is just signifying the earth being a woman,
Okay.
right? Women are wonderful, you know that.
Yes.
They
Magic.
They give things in multiples, right?
Yes.
Whatever you give the earth, it gives you in multiples, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? That is the beauty of this earth. And when you just come to the full understanding that all these things are for your existence, this awesomeness of the earth alone, giving it a seed, growing it into a plantation for you, it is to help you sustain yourself, for you to just have that happiness that it deems fit for you. Let's talk about the waters. Nourishing us. Well, you'll appreciate the essence of water when you have been truly thirsty.
Of course.
And then you just get a glass of water just to quench your thirst.
And the first thing you do is
So
that is the happiness that we are talking about, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen. Yes.
So truly, all these elements, they are a source of marvel.
Yes, indeed.
Right? When you study so much about them, you come to appreciate the fact that it is just it's, you know, just describing them with words alone, you just have to feel it yourself.
Definitely.
Feel the elements, right? You know, when you wake up in the morning, for instance, feel the earth.
Yes.
Right? Feel the air that breathes you. When you have a glass of water, just as you drink that glass of water, just feel it. Feel that. And when the sun comes up, just feel that awesomeness that it gives you when it shines upon you. You see, these things are there as avenues. Just to remind you, or just to bring it to one thing that this very awesome man said was some time ago is the power is within, but the path to that power is without.
Is without. Okay, wow.
So,
elaborate on that. I'm curious.
So, you know, we often hear people talk about believe in you, believe in yourself, and what have you, right?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, they are saying the power is within you, isn't it?
I understand.
But the path to that power is without.
Yeah.
So when you observe the things around you, okay, you see that awesomeness. When you see things around you, you see, oh, wow. When a friend of mine all the way in Australia sent me a very lovely picture. She loves taking pictures, right? She sent me a picture. She goes, many a time she goes close to the sea, and she took a very beautiful picture there. And then when I look at that picture, I could see nothing but just beauty of life, beauty of this universe. Now, when you observe all these things and you come to that understanding that just as the wave did not come into the ocean, but it emerged from the ocean,
Yes.
I emerged from the same place. All those things emerged from.
Yes, sir.
So it makes you an awesome being, full of anything that you need to have in this life.
I understand.
But then again, it's like someone dashing you a very beautiful car, and he tells you he's put something very valuable in that car. It is entirely up to you to look out for whatever the person is putting in that
You
car.
put inside that car, understand.
Many a time we just give up looking for that beauty the person has put in the car,
Yes.
and we sit somewhere crying foul that we don't have this, we don't have that. But truly, 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 whatever that we seek is within us.
Understand.
And when we are able to discover that awesomeness within us, whatever that we need in the without will be there for us.
Totally understand.
Yes. So, if you ask me how, to what extent I marvel at the elements, well, if we want to talk about that for today, it will be a
yes.
long one. They are just here for my goodness.
I understand.
I came to meet them. They were here
Before
I came,
you got here.
so that I will be happy.
Oh. You also said something so marvelous that is really touching me. You said just like the waves emerged from the ocean, so did you also emerge from life into life?
That's right.
And the place that the ocean emerged from is also where you emerged from.
That's right.
Wow. Now, this sounds really, really, really enlightening to me. But I actually want you to just share a little bit about that area again, that you came the place where the ocean came from. It's also a place that you also came from. Why have you aligned yourself?
All right.
Yes.
You see, I'll begin this way, right? We often take ourselves for granted.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes when other people take us for granted, we feel upset.
Okay. Yes.
But truly, truly, we have already taken ourselves for granted, right? And the reason why we have taken ourselves for granted is we haven't come to the understanding of who we truly are.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You know, I said the wave emerged from the ocean.
Yes.
And it emerges from the ocean with all the attributes of the ocean. And that is to say, it emerges from the ocean with the saltiness of the ocean,
Yes.
with the watery,
Of course.
wateriness of the ocean as well. That is to say, you come, whatever that you emerge from, you emerged with the attributes of the source.
Of the source. I understand.
Right.
I understand.
Okay. So, when you come to that understanding that every wave is part of the ocean,
Yes.
right? You then also come to the understanding that you are a unit
Yes.
of the universe.
Of the universe.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe another time we'll be talking
Yes.
about that, so that we'll be able to come to the understanding that as you, an individual, you walk on the surface of the earth, you have the whole universe within you.
Yeah.
Everything external of you is within you,
Understand.
right? So it brings you back to the point of the wave emerging from the ocean with everything the ocean entails.
Understand.
So when you come to that full understanding that I, a unit of life, walking on the surface of life, I emerged with everything external of me. You have part of the sun within you. You have part of the earth within you. Part of the fires, the air, everything. You are just the embodiment of the whole as a unit. You wouldn't take yourself for granted,
Not at all.
right?
Not at all.
You
Wow.
wouldn't take yourself for granted when you come to the understanding of what you embody. And truly, truly, when you come to understanding of these things, that is when the true happiness begins to just flourish in your life.
Thank you.
Because you then know who, this is me.
Yes.
You need to know yourself
And
in order
understand.
to be happy, right? You know, a typical example, you know, from scriptures, right? You know, this prodigal son, right?
Yes.
He went away, did so many things, and when he sat down and realized, oh no, you know, whatever the case may be, my dad or my father He's a very rich man.
Yes.
Yes, that is where I belong. So, well, let me take chances. Even if I go and he does not take me as his son, I would just want to be working there for some. At least I'll get something to eat.
Definitely, because he's at
Right?
home.
He's at home. But truly, when he went, he got the marvel of his life.
Yes.
Right? We haven't come to that awareness as to how awesome we are, the beautiful source that we've emerged from. So we have lost sight of our worth,
Yes. Understand.
right? And when you don't know your worth, you always take yourself for granted. Look at someone like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes.
These popular and celebrities that you know,
Yes.
they know their worth. They don't take themselves for granted
At all.
So you have to come to the understanding of where you emerge from. You see, don't let us take it so abstract so that people will say, no, this is too much for me.
Sure.
You see, you are in the universe, right? You never emerged beyond the universe. Yes, you are in the universe, and that is where obviously you emerged from. It's as simple as that. So if you are in your home, in your car, or whatever, you just take the whole environment as the whole of the universe,
Yes.
right? If anything is to emerge from there, it will need the material that are already in that place
environment.
that you think is the whole universe. Okay?
Understand.
So you emerge from an environment with materials from that environment.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
That's beautiful.
So what are these materials from this environment that you emerge from? You just have to observe the without, and then you will know the within.
Understand.
As simple as that.
So that is what you meant by
The wave emerging from
yes, and then
from the ocean.
yes, but then you need to look. Even though everything is within you,
The power is within,
You.
but the path is without.
is without.
So when you know the path, which is when you observe the things in the without around you,
Yes.
you then awaken to that power within you.
I totally
So
understand.
the power is within, but the path to that power, you come into understanding that all these things are here for my collective good, and from the same place where all these things emerge from, I also emerged.
Yes, indeed.
It awakens you to the power within you, so you wouldn't be able to take yourself for granted.
For
any
granted,
longer.
yes, or see yourself to be little or inferior
That's the point.
because you already know who you are.
As simple as that.
And if I was to ask you, who are you? What would you say?
Wow.
Just maybe in a very simple way, so that we can also understand you.
You see,
Yes.
um,
I think this is probably the best way sometimes how we describe ourselves.
mhm.
Yes, and I just want to see how you describe yourself.
Okay, all right.
Yes, mhm.
You know,
Yes.
I'll begin with the concept of God, right?
Okay.
I'll say the concept of God because to the atheist and to the very ones who may have difficulty accepting the fact that there's even God,
Yes.
I'll just take such individuals to the fact that, as I said, the wave emerges from the ocean.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
With all the saltiness and the wateriness of the ocean.
Gotcha.
Now, when you observe the universe very well critically, you will see three things at play,
Yeah.
and these three things are creativity,
Mm-hmm.
intelligence, and love.
Okay.
Right? And these three things together make this world just a very, very beautiful place.
Yes.
Okay? Intelligence, creativity, and love. And as I emerge from these three things, or the universe which holds together these three things, I also embody intelligence, creativity,
And love.
and love. Right?
Wow.
So you have to be able to describe yourself in how you express your intelligence,
Okay.
how you express your creativity,
Yep.
and how you express your love.
Sensational.
Right? So it's all about you getting to know what and who you are
as an
as a being,
individual.
all right?
Okay.
From these three angles,
I understand.
how do I express as a love being? How do I express as an intelligent being? And how do I express as
a creative being.
being? So if you should ask me,
Yes.
who am I?
Uh-huh.
I am that open-minded being.
Okay.
The center of philosophical wisdom.
Okay.
That embodies all and guides all around me to awaken to that awesomeness within them.
Understand.
Now, when you see it is in your ability to help others that you also get stronger, right? So when I guide and I prompt people to that awesomeness within them, I feel good.
Excellent.
I feel so awesome. You know, there was a time I saw this young man at a train station. He was holding something in a black bag,
Okay.
drinking so beautifully. And,
I wonder what's inside this black bag. I'm
yes,
curious.
I knew what was in that black bag, but I just wanted to just.
I've also got a black bag, by the way, but yes, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, sorry, Carrie.
So I just wanted to find out if he truly he knows what he's about.
Yes.
So I asked him, hello sir, what do you seem to be enjoying this fine afternoon in this black bag?
Yeah. Oh yes.
And then, because of how I said it and how jokingly I was just laughing at it, he felt also good just answering me. He said, it's a fine afternoon,
Okay,
so
right.
he's enjoying some fine chilled beer.
So that's what was inside the black bag.
That was what was inside the bag.
Yes, sir.
So I then asked him, so on a fine day like this, how many of these beer, how many cans of these beer would he be able to truly enjoy? Well, he said, on a fine day like this, he can go for about 4
Oh,
or five cans of beer.
I understand. Okay.
So I went further asking him, how much is a can? He said, oh, they're doing sales.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
This is exciting.
It's like 5 for the price of 4 or something.
Good on him.
Beautiful.
Good on
So,
him.
I asked, we talk about the price of the beer.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if someone is to ask you, what is the cost of the beer to you?
Oh,
Would you tell the person the price you paid for the beer?
wow.
Or what happens to you after drinking
After
the beer?
drinking it.
This man looked at me in a very funny way,
Yes.
and then he walked away
Without saying anything.
without saying anything.
Okay.
Okay? Because this is a question you need some time
Mhm.
to think about.
Yes.
So, truly, I am just an individual there to awaken all around me to that awesomeness within them.
That's just
Through nothing but through just prompts. We all have this awesomeness within us, but as I said, many of us don't know actually that those things are within us.
for sure.
And we are just like cooking oil that are settled. We need something to kick in us so that we will come to life and awareness of that awesomeness within us. So I am simply that catalyst that awakens all the very ones around to the beautiful self within. So if you should ask me, that is who I am.
This is just absolutely fantastic here from my colleague Ambassador Papa Smiley from Ambassadors of Happiness. just like myself, we are about to spread our philosophy of happiness and how happiness is often cultivated by individuals. So it's from people like Ambassador Papa Smiley that I myself, Kofi Danso, have been learning a lot from. And he has obviously given us some wonderful take on the subject of happiness. He's mentioned the anatomy of happiness. He's talked about the elements. He's talked about a simple virtue, something called a smile, you know, and I often like that. A wise man once told me that if you smile and another eye sees that smile, the eye of the brain is automatically going to imitate it, because our brain is actually what we call a chameleon. It's an imitant. It imitates anything that it sees. So yes, I'm actually going to ask Ambassador Papa Smiley to actually just elaborate a little bit to us on smile. And from here, we're going to deduce what synthetic happiness is and what genuine, warm, heartfelt happiness is. So yes, Ambassador Smiley. I love it.
You see,
yes.
scientifically, it is proven that you need. It takes lesser effort to smile, okay, than to frown.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
When you frown, it's more too much energy
Yes.
that is being exerted, okay, as against you smiling,
Yeah.
right? You see, there is so much beauty in a simple smile.
Of course.
Sometimes you
Of
just
course.
smile. It's happened several times. You just be walking and then you just smile at someone. That person just smiles. and
Smiles back.
He's also happy. And I always call our little such actions of us. I just put them in the multiply effect.
Okay.
Okay. That is to say, those little things, don't see them just as little as it may be, right? The big tree, the gigantic tree, was once just a seed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so within that smile holds so many things that can come into play. Sometimes a little effort of you can stop someone going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Just and the little thing could be just that smile that we are talking about.
100%. 100%.
And it could stop someone doing some harm to him or herself. You see, if we were to be able to get, let's say, a smile that you gave someone, if life were to do a replay of all the things that smile that you gave to someone yielded,
Wow.
you'll marvel,
Yes.
right?
Yes, indeed.
Someone just need that smile, may need that smile just to be able to get on in the day.
For sure.
You never know. You see, people are just walking around and they it's like they are holding so much within them, so
For
much
sure.
burning within them.
Yes.
And you being an ambassador of happiness, you become that agent that awakens the happiness
For sure.
within whoever comes your way. And it can be just a smile.
Yes.
So we can tell all our listeners to be agents of happiness and keep smiling.
And keep smiling.
Yes, keep smiling to people.
Fabulous.
And you see, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
When you smile, you're always young.
Of course.
You always look young.
Yes.
You see,
That's it. If you want to maintain your beauty, keep
Yes,
smiling,
keep
ladies and
smiling.
gentlemen. Stop frowning. Be happy. Come on.
you know, I once saw this very beautiful girl. You know, we walk around with so many philosophies of life,
Yes.
right? Some not so progressive. Some
Mhm.
later on we come to understand that it is not something that is helping us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You may see some very beautiful lady walking around, and when as a young man you smile at such a lady, and many a time they think, oh,
Yes.
why,
Yeah.
you want to make a move
Yeah.
on them or something. Right?
Oh.
And then they
Why, ladies?
and then they'll frown and or something to that effect, right?
Yes.
It's as if you want to hit on her.
Of course.
Yeah. So they
Mhm.
will frown. You ask yourself, what would you miss if you smile back? But you frowning, you are quickening the wrinkles
On your own
face.
face.
Right.
Are you listening, ladies and gentlemen? Pay attention. Uh-huh.
So you frowning, it just gives you more wrinkles.
100%.
So as you smile at someone, right, you yourself, you are keeping young as well.
Wow.
So in a very wonderful church that I belong to, we say the love you give, you keep.
Oh. Would you like to mention this church?
The love you keep, the love you give, you keep.
The love you give away,
You keep.
you keep.
That's it.
The love you keep,
Yeah,
the love you
the
give,
love you give, you keep.
you keep. Simple as.
It's simple as that.
Okay.
So, you smiling at someone, okay, actually it is for your own good, because you are helping yourself to what? To keep young,
To keep young.
to keep fresh, less wrinkles, isn't it?
Beautiful.
So that's love that you are giving another person. Who is keeping it? Yourself.
Yourself.
We spoke about the anatomy of happiness earlier on, and
Mhm. Mhm.
when you come to the understanding of the things that makes you happy, when you know very well these are the things that makes me happy, you don't find it so difficult doing it.
I understand.
And truly, happiness is in the expression of our good.
Oh. Wow. 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 Happiness is in the expression
of our good,
of our good.
right? And happiness is just a gift that we give to ourselves. And that gift that we give to ourselves comes from the goodness that we give unto others.
Wonderful. Can you just tell me a little bit about what our good is? What is your good? Papa Smiley, what is your good?
When you ask me what is my good,
Or what are your goods?
you see, when you ask
This
me
actually
who-
got me very, very excited, ladies and gentlemen. Someone is about to share something so fundamental with all of us, and I'm excited about this.
when you asked me who I am, right, I told you that I am that catalyst that awakens that awesomeness in the souls that I meet. Okay.
Yes.
And the very moment that I express that good, and I see the person picking something out of it, I feel very good within myself.
Okay.
Right? So in as much as I am helping the person to awaken to that greatness within them, I also feel so good.
Sensational.
Right?
Sensational.
There is this example one very awesome man just gave me, and then it goes like, let's say you buy something for your child,
Yes.
and you see your child happily using it.
Oh,
How do you feel?
your bliss
Bliss.
in the chart areas.
So in effect, who did you give to? You
Yourself.
gave to yourself.
Yes.
So the love you give, you keep.
You keep understand.
And all these things can be seen from nature as well. I told you, the power is within, but the path
It's without.
without.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's look at it this way. Look at the flower,
Mm.
okay? The flower wants to become more of itself.
Sure.
And the flower wanting to become more of itself, what does it do? It releases nectar.
Yeah.
And when it releases nectar, what does it attract?
Insects or
Insects
bees
or
or
bees or
yes.
the birds.
Yeah, or the birds. Yes.
Now, when these birds comes to eat of it, what happens?
Well, They are full, and then they also spread the seeds of the flower or the plant.
That's it.
So they populate, huh?
So the
Yes.
flower gave away nectar,
Yes.
it gave away love,
Yes.
and it became more of itself.
Of itself.
So
wow.
it was given unto itself.
Understand.
That is how nature works.
Understand.
You see, everything that we are talking about can be seen in the without.
Yes. Understand.
Everything can be seen in the without. So, truly, if you just want to be happy, you first of all have to come to the understanding that your happiness is in the expression of your good. So you then have to know who you are and how you express your good.
Understand.
You see, we all cannot love the same way.
Possible.
We will love in multiple ways. Okay,
Yes.
how someone will express their love will be different from the way
How
you
I
express
express
your
my
love.
love,
So
100%.
you need to come to the understanding of who and how you express your goodness, as you said.
Understand.
Okay, there are some people when say you are in need of something, when you go to them, they will counsel you, give you some prompts to awaken you to some opportunities you are not
You're not seeing.
you are not seeing.
Understand.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and there are some people when you go to them, then you take this small thing and then you just see how you'll be able to
Cope
with it in a time being, right?
Understand.
The two people, they've all expressed love,
Yes.
okay, but in different
In
forms.
very, very different ways. And you've actually got me thinking now, because if that is the case, the person that is probably given the little allowance is probably not doing that much of a help to this person. But
Mm-hmm.
but again, yes.
That is it. We all have various ways as I
Yes,
said,
and I'd love this.
various ways of we expressing our goodness.
Yes,
right.
indeed. Yes.
And there is one very beautiful thing that I would just want to share now.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because we express our good in various forms, in different ways. If we do not come to the understanding that we cannot love the same way, many a time we have what we call the battle of angels.
Wow, I like this word.
And
Mhm.
this battle of angels is just the good of ourselves battling themselves.
Themselves, yes.
Right? It's nothing evil or what have you. But you see, your good is battling with my good.
Yes.
Right? The way you express your goodness may be battling with the way I express mine.
I understand.
You see, let's say we belong to a board having a meeting, and I express my goodness, say socially, right? I view things from the social perspective.
Yes.
You are also good financially. You are good in making money,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So we may be thinking of building a hospital
Sure. Sure. Sure.
for the community, for the community. And as a financial man, you'll be thinking of how we'll be able to keep the hospital running.
Yes.
Okay, and as such, you'll be thinking of how much we should be charging
Yes.
the commuters, the people that use the facility.
Understand.
But you being, say, a social person, or you being more spiritual in your dealings, you'll be thinking of, oh, forget it. We have to help the needy. We need to help these people.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
we have to give to them even for free.
Yes.
Right.
Understand.
Okay.
Wow.
Now you are expressing your good from that angle.
Mhm.
Now the person who is a financial being, okay, is also expressing his good
Yes.
on how we'll be able to sustain the
Understand.
project.
Totally.
So you see, me being someone who just seeks to want people to get healed, the needy to get that help they need, I will see the very one who will be thinking of the financial side of the business.
Yes.
And so you talk about money too much.
Too much. Yes, I totally get it.
You talk about money too much. So we come back to one thing that we all need to know. We need to know how we operate as intelligent beings,
Yes.
creative beings, and loving beings.
Sensational.
When we can get to know how we operate from these areas, we don't have to end there. We also have to learn how others operate so we can equally cooperate.
This is sensational.
So you knowing how you operate as an individual, knowing how others also operate as individuals will help us to be able to what? Coexist or cooperate
This
among
is
ourselves. So
sensational.
that is also one area that you will certainly find that happiness that you need.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
one area that you will be able to find that happiness that you need. Uh-huh.
That's it. at other places. Sensational stuff. So Papa has shared so much wonderful stuff with us today. I'm extremely happy with his input. He spoke about the end goal of all of our pursuits, which is happiness. So everything that we do it for happiness. The good people are chasing happiness, the bad people are chasing happiness. Everybody is chasing happiness. Human beings, animals, you name it, the whole world. We are all looking for happiness. So with his contribution, talking about the elements, and then later on using the flower and the bird as a wonderful allegorical story, which is truth, allegorical but truth. I'm really loving his input. So yes, we are not too far from the end of the program, and certainly I'll be getting a little recap from our colleague. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Papa Smiley from Ambassadors of Happiness, and as you can see today is the genesis of story time, and our topic today was more or less on the anatomy of happiness. So as we can see from my conversation with Papa Smiley, happiness is a virtue that we have already emerged from. We are already born from happiness into happiness. We can even use our own mother. When our mother or our mothers found out that they were pregnant with us, they became very, very joyful. During those 9 months or almost 37 weeks that we were in her stomach, she was constantly feeding us, singing to us quietly, waiting for us to come out into a wonderful world. So this alone should give us the understanding that life brought us here through happiness, and our goal is to fulfill that happiness. Now, many a times we tend to lose sight of who we really are, and we end up chasing synthetic happiness, even to the detriment of our own family, friends, and even other human beings on this planet, including the entire ecosystem. Our behaviors of not really knowing our innate virtues often makes us chase impermanence, the impermanent happiness, which brings us elements of sadness sometimes. So as Papa shared with us today, if we are able to understand who we really are as beings of happiness, then by all means we can really align our mind and belief systems into who we really are. And by aligning with who we really are, our happiness becomes natural. We don't need to do much. We wake up, and by embracing the air, the water, the fire, the earth that we stand on, oh, there is happiness indeed. Now, I wanted to obviously ask him to share with us how come this world can be full of sadness. I actually want Papa to give us just about few minutes of this, but over the next few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, some of the things that we have mentioned today, they'll all come out in a very elaborated manner. So do join us, of course, every Sunday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Myself, Kofi Damso from Ambassadors of Happiness. I'll be hosting story time, and most of my guests will be people who are here to help the world and to share their innate good with us. And by sharing their own good, the world becomes a happy place. So I'm just going to ask my guest today, Papa Smiley, just to elaborate or to give us a little bit on as to why some people, or sometimes we end up chasing the wrong sort of happiness, and again to remind us of what our natural happiness state should be like. Papa.
That is a very beautiful question, right? And the world, I would say, is in a state of confusion. A state of confusion here means, in as much as we all seek happiness, we are looking for happiness in inappropriate places.
Yes, sir.
All right. We more or less looking at happiness in places where it has always just been a mirage. It has just been eluding us from the places where we are looking. And as I stated earlier on, happiness truly is in the expression of our good. In as much as possible, when we express our good, we feel so happy within ourselves. The armed robber may kill someone and make some money. When he gives out that money to someone and he sees that money, that person is enjoying the money, he himself even feels happy.
Yes. Sensational, right? Yes.
We simply have to come to that understanding as to where we can truly find that happiness that we are looking for.
Okay.
If we don't come to that understanding of where lies my true happiness, when you come to give yourself all the evidence from nature to understand that it is in the good that you express that you become more of yourself, you become the better version of yourself. And you becoming the better version of yourself truly means you becoming more happier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
And when we come to that understanding, then we will certainly be happy. Right? One other beautiful way of you being happy is also to be able to celebrate differences in life. Right? To celebrate variety in life. Okay?
Yes.
You know, we all, as I use the wave as an example, we emerging from the wave emerging from the ocean, right? No two waves are the same, isn't it?
Impossible.
But they are all waves, isn't it?
Yes.
Excellent. So a wave can see another wave as not a variety of itself.
Yes.
You understand?
Understand.
Okay. So you may belong to a particular religion different from mine. You may be doing certain things in your own way different from mine.
Yes.
But instead of me looking down on you based on those things, I can celebrate that difference that you are
100%.
as another version of me.
100%.
And it makes you happy. You see, when you celebrate a good in other people, right, you become happy yourself. Okay, when you celebrate the success of others, when you see other units of life becoming more of themselves, and you truly become happy for them, you also become happy.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
You certainly become happy as well. So the bottom line is you have to come to the understanding that your true happiness or your fulfilling happiness comes from the expression of your good. You have to, in subsequent shows, afterwards, from time to time, the ambassadors themselves will sit down and have a chat.
Oh, yes.
And we will build up from some of these things that we are sharing, because they are quite huge.
Yes.
Yes. We getting to understand who we are, and how we express in our intelligence, in our creativity, and our love. When we come to these understanding, it will help us to know how we operate. Then we understand people in their own capacity as well.
100%.
Okay. You see, I always see life as a school.
Yeah.
Okay. We all went to class 1. Okay, or year 1.
Yes.
And when we finished year 1, some people came after us. All right, we did not carry year 1 with us.
No.
Okay. Some people came after us. So definitely, there are some people who may be ahead of us, and some people who are behind us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You being able to respect the ones behind you in class, let's say in your consciousness level, and you also learning from the very ones ahead of you. So you respect the ones behind you, and you learn from the ones ahead of you. It makes you happy.
Wow.
All right. Now, if you don't respect the ones behind you, you are creating hell for yourself.
100%.
You were once behind,
Yes.
just as they are. So, irrespective of whatever that you've gained, whatever that you have come to know, if you see someone doing things differently from the way you are doing your things, and you don't have to necessarily look down upon that person.
Not at all.
Right? You have to understand that, well, you were once in class 1, and you've moved up the ladder, and you would have to respect the very ones who are still in class 1.
In class 1, understand.
All that it means is you see yourself in those individuals, and the very moment you see yourself in those individuals, you have to respect yourself from
Totally
that
understand.
angle. Okay? And for the very ones who may be ahead of you in the journey, you learn from them as well.
Understand.
Every day is a moment of learning. Every moment is a moment to learn something. You either learn or you teach
Mm.
in every moment, right?
Did you hear that?
should-
You either learn or you teach.
That's the point.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And be a good teacher.
Wonderful.
You see, I marvel at how teachers in nursery do their work.
Oh, magical, yeah?
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
When you visit teachers who teach nurseries and the lower levels, it's just amazing
Sure.
how, with all that they know, they are able to come all the way down
Yes.
to the level of
A child.
a child and
Yeah.
teach. It's so beautiful,
It's sensational.
so sensational.
And these people have a wonderful empathic virtue within them.
That's
Yes. You always have to learn to be an empath.
That's it. So happiness, we seeking happiness comes in diverse forms. But all that I will say for now, as we round up, is happiness. It's something right within us.
Mhm.
It is something not far away from us. It is something we emerge from, and something or a place we always want to go back. Everything that we do in this world, no matter how you label it, you can label it wickedness, evil, or what have you. The common denominator is
Happiness.
everyone is trying to be happy from whatever they are doing. Right? I may try to take what you have, but the bottom line is I feel by taking what you have,
You be happy.
I'll be happy.
So that's a compliment, actually, for myself. Yes, if I
So-
have something and somebody wants it because they feel they'll be happy. Wow, that means I have something amazing.
the
That's a
point.
compliment.
All right.
Mm.
So instead of we being judgmental,
Yes, sir.
we can guide people to that fulfilling happiness they are seeking. I'm telling you, we all want to be happy. Even the person who wants to commit suicide wants to be happy.
Yes.
Because they think when they end it all, they'll be okay.
They'll be in a much better place. 100%.
So you now get to understand that everything that we do in this world is geared towards happiness. But that's to it leading us into fulfilling happiness.
Ooh.
It's one thing.
Yes.
You know,
and that is what we were highlight
I will share this story as to especially African politicians.
on. Listen.
They take more than necessary. They take more than they even need. And what happens then is when they build their mansions, they put themselves in prison.
Okay.
You know the prison they put themselves in?
Yes.
Yes. They put up fences, electric fences,
Yes.
to protect what they have. Because they have now come to the understanding that if they don't protect what they have, the people will come after them to take what they have taken from them. So are you truly happy?
No.
No.
Oh.
When you go to places, some African countries, when you go to Ghana, right, you realize people are building houses and they put some strong metals behind the windows and what have you.
Yes.
You see, that's all to do one thing, to stop people from what? from coming into their house.
Yes.
You see?
So after all that money and everything, they become prisoners
Prisoners.
in their own home.
In their own home. But you see, if you are, say you are a politician, okay, with all the powers that you have, you see, we get so many things in this life, and all those things are to help us work on our true happiness.
Yes, sir.
Right? You see, I was saying this on one of my shows that our secondary identities. You being a doctor, you being a politician, all these are secondary identities. And all these things are to work on our primary identity. Now, if we say, if we have come to understanding that we emerged from happiness, then our primary identity is being happy.
It's being happy.
It's happiness.
I understand.
So every secondary identity is to lead us into what? Happiness. So whatever that you are doing, make sure it's leading you to what? Happiness.
Happiness.
It's
Yes.
leading you home. Whatever job that you may find yourself in, use that as an avenue to lead you home. Use that as an avenue to lead you into further happiness.
Wow.
That's
I
all
love this.
That is all that I will tell you. So thank you very much, Kofi. And we have begun the journey of story time. We hope to enjoy it so much.
Yes, indeed. Oh.
No matter where you go, remember the No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home. That will lead you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a marvelous evening that I've just had here with my colleague Papa Smiley. Oh, Papa Smiley is from the Ambassadors of Happiness as well. We are co-founders of this wonderful consultancy organization, and our mission is to bring sheer happiness, joy, laughter, truth, and bliss to all of our listeners.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you very, very much for joining us today on Storytime. Storytime from the Ambassadors of Happiness. Our mission is quite simple, as you've been listening to us. We're here to promote happiness in the life of everybody. Now, today being the genesis of Storytime, we focus on the anatomy of happiness. Now, by focusing on the anatomy of happiness, we have been able to understand how life brought us into life to promote itself, to promote its own happiness, to promote its own joy.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
We are radio, and this is Aquento4 Radio.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining Storytime with myself and my co-founder, Papa Smiley. So today we have been sharing what we believe to be the anatomy of happiness. The question is, what is happiness? We often have a variety and various descriptions of happiness, but what is true happiness? So from my colleague Papa Smiley, we've just discussed how we emerged from a place of happiness to fulfill more happiness on this planet. This experience that we are having is to enhance our happiness. Everything that we do, when we wake up, when we step out, when we eat, when we dance, when we sleep, whatever we do, there's an end goal, and the end goal is happiness. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 9 o'clock in the UK. Our show Storytime is about to end on Aquento4 Radio. My guest today was Papa Smiley, co-founder of Ambassadors of Happiness. Now, this is going to be a weekly program. Every Sunday, we're going to be here speaking to a variety of individuals who will be sharing their story of happiness with us. And by going through this journey, we are here to evoke all of the happiness that lies asleep in us. Most of us are busy chasing up on synthetic happiness. Fine, that is also part of the goal of life. The goal of life at the end of the day is to fulfill happiness. Some people use alcohol, some people use drugs, some people use their work, some people use education, some people just like to study nature to enhance their own happiness. What is your happiness? Is your happiness artificial, or is it natural? Is it permanent, or is it impermanent? Permanent joy lies within us. We don't need anything to trigger it. We just have to be aware of it. Artificial joy, well, I'm sure you've all experienced it before, whereby you become extremely blissful for a few minutes or a day, and the next minute sadness kicks in again. Especially to those of you that do 9 to 5s. You go to work on Mondays and all of a sudden you're not happy. Why? Because over the weekend you spent your entire time drinking and partying and taking unnecessary substances. So when you go back to work on Monday and you realize that you've used a lot of synthetic stuff to make yourself happy, you moan and you sit down and make your faces rather miserable. In the end, what happens? Your level of unhappiness affects all around you. So that is where Ambassadors of Happiness, we come in. We have been trained, researched, and traveled into centers around the world for us to know the true meaning of happiness. And that is what we are here to share with you each and every Sunday on Storytime on Akwentufoɔ Radio between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. My name is Kofi Danso from Ambassador of Happiness. I'm also a co-founder. Today you have been listening to my colleague Papa Smiley, such an honorable gentleman, and by all means during the course of our program you shall be discovering more about Papa Smiley and myself, and also our future guests. So yes, it's been a sensational day, and I appreciate you all for listening. For now, thank you. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Have a wonderful week, and do not forget to join us again next Sunday between the hours of 7 to 9 on Akwentufoɔ Radio. Story time. Our story has ended today, but it shall continue next week. Peace.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where